Hello, Professor. I'm going to talk about Jerome Bruner. Jerome Bruner was an American psychologist who made significant contributions to the human cognitive psychology. He was born on October 1st, 1915 in Queens, New York, and he died on June 5th, 2016. He was born blind and underwent surgery at the age of 2. After his sight restored, he spent the rest of his life trying to understand how the human mind perceives the world, leading to influential advances in education. He had a bachelor in psychology from Duke University, and he started as a professor of psychology at Harvard University. He published his first article in 1939, which is Effects of Thymus and the Rat's Behavior. He has been at the forefront of what was known in the 1960s as the cognitive revolution. The cognitive revolution was a time where the idea of psychology changed to thinking about psychology related to the human condition. Dr. Bruner, in his research of the cognitive, was concerned with how knowledge is represented and organized through different modes of thinking. In his research on the cognitive development of children, he proposed 3 modes of representation. He had been involved in many educational reform, including the start of Head Start programs in 1960. The 3 modes of representation which Dr. Bruner was made research about it. The first one is the inactive mode, which is between the first year, between 0 and 1. This mode is used within the first year of life. Infants learn by doing rather than by thinking. And the second mode is the iconic mode. It's between the first year and 6 years. The information is stored as a sensory image, such icon, usually visual one, like picture in the mind. And the third mode is the symbolic mode, between 7 years to the rest of your life. This is where the information is stored in the form of code or symbols, such as language, mathematics, physics, or something like this. And also Dr. Bruner introduced the idea of readiness of learning and the spiral curriculum. And Dr. Bruner also made a research about the discovery learning theory. The discovery learning theory was introduced by Jerome Bruner. This theory encouraged learners to build on past experience and search for the new information to discover facts, correlation. That means the relation between the past and the present. And the new truth. The concept of discovery learning implies that students contrasts of their knowledge for themselves based upon their current or past knowledge. Dr. Bruner described constructivist approach, the way in which we contrast meaning for ourselves. Every day in the classroom, this approach is around us. Pupils are constantly constructing and reconstructing their understanding of the world as new experiences and interaction occur as teachers. One of the challenges is to facilitate this. A good teacher will design lessons that help students discover the relationship between bits of information. Teacher must give students the information they need by providing questions for exploration and discovery rather than procedures. And Dr. Bruner has wrote a lot of books. He wrote a lot of books during his career in psychology, and the very known books, very famous books, are the The first one is a study of thinking, is 1956, and second one is the process of education, is 1960. And when I watching a lot of interviews for Dr. Bruner on YouTube, I heard him one day say like the culture is the way of knowing the things. So if according to Dr. Bruner, if we want to know any culture, we need to know the way how those people using the knowledge or trying to know things, trying to undefine things. Thank you, Professor.